Hi everybody, welcome back. Nice to see you all. Pleased that you're here with me today. Today we're just going to be doing some neuro work, neuro art. And so here I'm just doing a simple picture, a little sketch really of a pen. Maybe the pen that's in front of me there, the little brush pen that's at the top, just dead simple, rough sketch. It's not about the sketch really, but I just wanted to show you how you can bring the two together. I've always had a bit of a fetish actually for these kind of pens and things. I love pens and pencils and things, especially fountain pens. So here I'm just adding a little bit of a bit of shadowing along the edges, because obviously it helps to make it look more tubular. And then underneath obviously there's going to be some shaded shadows underneath. So I'm just quickly drawing those in. I'm not doing a fantastic sketch, and it at the end of it, it was a little bit bananaed actually, but that's what happens when you don't look back at your work. So I'm just smudging a little shadow here now. And for those of you who don't sketch much and everything, I am what's called a smudger when I'm sketching. So I find it easier to smudge with my fingers, although that you shouldn't, to get lines and shadowing that you want, because it just comes across as easy to me. A lot of people like to etch and sketch and things like that. But anyway, it's not about this sketch. I'm just concentrating on it a little bit at the moment, but as we go further on, I'll show you what I'm doing with neuro lines. Neuro art, for those of you who don't know, is a piece of art that you've made out of drawing neuro lines. So where the lines cross, and you draw little connections, and I'll show you how I've done it here. I took my time doing the connections today so I could show you properly. And did them in some real time as well as some fast time, so that you can see and follow what I'm doing. So you can use any object that you want. It could be a flower, it could be a ball. We've done it with balls before, you've seen me do that. So moving on to making it a little bit more difficult and a little bit more abstract as well, because I'm wanting to run some little bit of water paint down in a little while. So I'm just finishing off shadowing this, and then I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of watercolour and place that on there. But the neuro lines, I should be going over the top, round, underneath, and then extending them to the sides as well. Just a little tip, I'm just using I've used my rubber now just to create a little bit of light in the middle, so it makes it look a little bit more tubular. And also then when I put watercolour paint on it, it gives it that little bit of a difference, you know. So that's added a little bit of light there. I've just now just gone round with that brush pen, and I'm making the shading a little darker. So I wanted to try and make the feeling of like making the pen pop out of the paper. So I realised that I have spent a little bit more time on it than what I would do normally, because I do want to get that feeling of like that you should be able to pick that pen up, but also I want to be able to combine that with neuro art. Don't forget, this is neuro art, not neurographica. For those of you who are interested, you can do neurographica courses under Alina. I can't pronounce the second name, but if you type in neurographica, it would on YouTube, it will take you straight over, and you'll find her. Her name's Alina. It might be Kowalski or something like that. You have to have a look. It's a Russian lady, and she does paid courses. I've just passed my basic user course with her actually, and it's marvellous for relaxation and for healing of the mind, and for creating energy and stress relief. The way that I've done this now, this is for stress relief today. So I'm going over the lines now, going over the pens. I did that really quick, but you can see where I've done the lines. And now I'm making the connections where the lines cross. And turning it around. So I've done some lines going over the top of the pen, some lines going under the pen, and some lines stopping at the pen. And then I've extended the lines out to the edge of the page where I felt like it needed more lines. And it was very simple and very relaxing to do. And you can see here how, you know, why it's got an even kind of look to the picture. So just adding a little bit of water here, ready to pop on some watercolour. I've chose the colour red today, so it will make it pop out. I'm doing it faintly at first. It's important, I think, to do, you know, to make the picture underneath that you're wanting to pop through, you know, to take a little bit of time on it. As you can see, it's already taking effect, even with the pale bit of red around on the pen. As you can see, the neuro lines that are over the top and all around it make it look really quite effective. Now, you could actually leave it as it is with just painting the pen, or you could fill in the colours around it as a bit of an experimentation, or whatever you want, really. So in a little minute, what I'm going to do, you can't actually see it when I do it. I'm going to hold it up because obviously I like abstract painting as well. I'm going to run down place some clear water underneath the pen, and then I'm going to run down the red from underneath the pen, so that looks like it's going to be the shadow. So but at the moment I'm going around the edges of the pen in a deeper colour, so that it makes the pen look like it's more realistic, that I could just reach down and, you know, it gives it like that rounded look. So here I'm trying to just do it without running water down and giving it a good shake. But it won't go down in the same way, so you really do need to add water underneath. If you do this and you're following me step by step and having a go at doing this, make sure that the pen that you use for doing your neuro lines is a permanent marker, because if you don't and you add water to this like I am doing now afterwards, what's going to end up, it's just going to all run into itself. But you can see that the marker that I've used is not running in any way. So I'm just adding water now and a little bit more paint at the top, but underneath the pen, and I've also added it, and you can see it's already starting to run. So I'm going to hold that up now, and I'm just going to let that run down. Only takes a few seconds for it to run down, but it's an effective way, and it gives it like a shadow. Obviously you're looking at it from upside down at the moment, and I'm just wiping off any excess water with a baby wipe and going back in with my white areas to release some of the watercolour off the top of the pan. And then I should go around the edges again with the red again to make it look a little bit more stronger now that I've got my light area. It's a little bit of a backwards way of doing it, I think, really, but I think it's just the way that I work, and I enjoy doing it like that. So you could just leave it like that if you wanted, or you could make your runners really strong, or you could do them with acrylic paint and make proper runners that come down, or you could leave it as it is. So that part was very enjoyable to do. Before I started the next part though, I did let this dry, okay? I'm just taking back some paint there. So now I'm starting to fill in the areas. Now, I can't stress this enough to you, that you need to do this as loose as you possibly can. The more tight that you do it, the more, I don't know, it's going to give it a more of a kind of a tight effect. And that's why I'm keeping using a large brush. Large brushes, I'm not tickling it to death, you know, I'm giving it a large brush with a large area. and just with a tint of blue. So I'm spinning it around because I'm looking, I want it to be even in the places and the marks that I've, you know, filled in. And I've speeded it up a little bit here now. But going over the areas, I've added some isopropyl as I'm going along while the paint was still wet to give it like a, it gives it like a splattered look, if you like. And it pushes it away, a bit like what salt does when you use salt on watercolour. And then I'm splattering it at the end just with the pen, the permanent ink marker, and just shaking it, and it's coming out as some splatters onto the paper. And basically that's it. But what a lovely effect. I've really enjoyed doing this. So this is how you can bring together like realism. You know, the pen looks really realistic, apart from the fact that it's a little bit banana shaped because I didn't pay much attention to it. But it does really look like that you could reach into that and pull it out. And it looks like it's popping out of the painting a little bit. So I do hope that you like it and that you've enjoyed the picture. And have a go. Okay, bye.